So I'm in WestChester, Ohio. Anthony Ford, Kong Armor, world's toughest deck armor. Behind me here, we had a deck system that was just torched by the sun. Thousands of cracks, thousands of hairline cracks in the floor, exposed fasteners that were starting to take on what we call fastener corrosion, which in layman's terms is just screw rust, nail rust, right? We had all that going on here, and we also had some bad boards, a few rotten boards, a few rotten planks. I'm going to take you guys down. I'm going to show you the outside of this deck system. What's happened here is something that we call deck rescue painting, or deck, this was a rescue situation basically. If they didn't protect this year, they were facing down some type of horrible replacement because of the thousands of cracks they had in their floor. So basically it was a floor rescue more than anything. But I'm going to tell you about Kong Armor, this ultra thick, ultra tough, high stretch elastic polymer that we encase, or what we call encapsulate, decks in. Old decks, new decks, but extremely beneficial for middle-aged deck systems like this with maintenance problems. Why? Well, because Kong comes with professional application by what we call deck restoration painters or deck rescue painters, where we can come in, wash the system up, repair it, right? So replace all the bad boards, get all the repairs done to the deck system that it needs. After that's done, then we can bring in the high build, the ultra tough Kong Armor, and do the encapsulation, which does a couple things. These deck owners, they keep the equity that they already owned. They already owned a deck, right? So if they would have brought anybody else out here, it would have been like, oh, you need to replace your whole deck floor. Let's get you a new set of rails. Let's get you this. Let's get you that. And before it's all said and done, you're $10,000, $20,000 out the door. You lost all the equity that you already owned. They wiped it out and replaced it, right? With our process, because we have this ultra tough, what we call lifetime deck armor system, we can resurface a lot of things that other people would say, probably going to get rid of that, right? And resurface it gorgeously back to almost brand new looking. And I'll show you this deck and some of the things that we've done. But one of the problems here was that this bandboard, and that's what we called this project the bandboard deck, it was too short. So it was pulling away here. Same thing down on the other side. It was pulling away about an inch there. So what we do, we hooked up with Simpson Strong Tie and got these, and I don't know the exact name or the exact model of these braces, but they're just really thick, long, rectangular right angles that we brought in there and locked that all down. So tons of screws, tons of everything, connected this bandboard to this bandboard. It can't pull away anymore. And that's short. The reason that bandboard's short is from it shrinking up, right? So they didn't, it shrunk up more than probably what it should have. Same thing on this side, added stability, right? These here, these are like 2x10s or 2x12s that they use to basically trim out these deck posts, and it's really beautiful and really cool. Encapsulated all of that, closed that all off with a thick build Kong film so water can't get down in those anymore. Very beautiful, very pretty. What else did we do here? Well, so you come up here, take you guys through. We added braces and angles in these stairs. They're hidden really well to try to tighten them up as best as we could. We come up here. I think this floor, now remember, this floor is probably at least 15 years old, maybe older. There were 5 to 7 bad planks in here that were just horribly bad that we pulled up and replaced. And we pulled up and replaced this plank too as well because the squirrels had chewed it up. And we added new caps here in several places for them. So a complete restoration. Then we brought in the thick build Kong film in the color brown. So this is just our standard brown, and Kong is amazingly tough and amazing resurfacer. So all of these planks had thousands of hairline cracks in them and larger cracks, and just look, the Kong film has every single crack in this floor filled in and closed off. It has every single fastener entry point closed off or closed over. Some of these are up a little bit, and we tried to put them down and they will not go down any further. So that's why you see a little of them protruded up just a little bit. We tried, we put in the effort to put them down. They won't go down any further than that, even with impact drills. So everything closed off, nowhere for water to enter, right? Absolutely nowhere at all. First in class UV block, right? So the rays come down and hit this, they deflect back into the atmosphere. If you take a look, where do you see a water entry point? You don't. There's nowhere for water to enter these planks. What does that do? It stops that fastener corrosion, right? It stops it dead in its tracks. We also did an oxide dump here. We put red oxide in our coating system to kind of stop any corrosion that was already there, to kind of halt it, to slow it down significantly. But by taking what we call elastic polymer, which is Kong armor, and manually driving it into the cracks and the hairlines, here were thousands of cracks everywhere that was open. We manually drive that polymer into those cracks and fill them in, and then subsequent layers on top of that. It stops that fastener corrosion, and it does something else that's very, very important. It stops the amount of precipitation and also humidity, relative humidity, the moisture in the air that these planks draw in. What does that do? That cuts down on the expansion and contraction cycle, right? If they can't draw moisture in, they can't expand. If they don't have to expel that moisture, then they're not going to contract. What does this do? It extends the life of deck systems unbelievably, right? That's why I constantly preach at you guys. You need to move to a thick build. You need to move to a lifetime deck armor system like Kong, so we can get you in, get all those cracks, get all those entry points covered over, so that your deck is not constantly going through this massive expansion and contraction cycle all the time, because that's what's destroying it, right? But washing, total repair, right? Repaired everything. They held on to the equity they already owned, and then we brought the world's toughest, most advanced deck resurfacing armor in here and resurfaced this deck, and it turned out just a pretty brown deck system now. Goes beautiful with the house. High built film everywhere, splinter lock technology, water lock, all that good stuff. You got UV block in here, mildew guard, moisture guard. This even has insect control in it, where if termites, carpenter bees, any of that type of stuff try to bite into this, they'll fall over dead within 2 hours, right? Kong is backed locally here in Cincinnati, northern Kentucky, southeast Indiana. It's backed by lifetime limited warranty and the only lifetime service promise that exists for a deck coating system on the planet, right? These two combinations make it to where these deck owners, they don't ever have to face completely repainting, restaining their deck system again. They're protected, lifetime deck armor, right? They're backed, their system here on their deck, the Kong armor system, is backed by a local dealership here in the tri-state. We're in northern Kentucky. They can call us at any time if they need help. Annual cleanings, if they have a spot touch up or something like that, we can get it done for them, right? They don't ever have to go through this process again, right? Beautiful decks, immensely tough, absurdly gorgeous, high build, high stretch. Look at that, look how pretty. Just turned out absurdly gorgeous and pretty. It's plaqued. You can see the high build of Kong there, as it's kind of over that edge a little bit. Real high build, real tough stuff, rated to be walked on, take on wind driven rain, sleet, ice, snow, all that stuff up to hurricane wind speeds. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You got fastener coverage there, covered over, plaqued up there. There's the phone number, there's the website to call and get a quotation. All fasteners covered over. Look at that. I dare you to match it. I dare you to find somebody that's restoring and coating deck systems now. When you roll up on them when they're done, for the most part, all of their fasteners are covered over, filled in and covered over, and all of their cracks are filled in. I promise you, you won't find it. You won't find a match to Kong. Why? Because we're the best at this. We're the best at this in the nation, probably the world right now. And I know that that's like a really cocky thing to say, but it's the truth. Get to kongarmor.com. You want what's best for your family, right? Get to kongarmor.com, get a free quote. Whether you do it this year, next spring. I know we're late, we're October right now. Probably get a few more people in if you guys act. If not, get to kongarmor.com, sign up for a free quote next spring. Doesn't matter, we're going to be here regardless. We have lifetime customers in the tri-state, so it's not like we're here 1 year and we're gone the next. We're here every year, year after year after year after year, installing new systems and helping our beloved lifetime deck armor systems that customers that we already have. So it doesn't make a difference whether you do it now or in the spring. We'd like to talk to you though. If you have an old beat down deck, decks with peeling paint, peeling bare deck over, or whether you have a new deck and you're looking for the ultimate in protection, doesn't really make a difference. I'd like to meet you and talk with you and kind of talk to you about the difference in application that we use, and talk to you about our coating technology and about the lifetime programs we have for you and stuff like that. Again, real simple. Say it one last time. kongarmor.com. Get there now. Fill out a quote request. See you.